What? Right.
I would have done.
And we're live. Let me before we start
Hell yeah.
let me go ahead and share the link around a bit.
Snoogans.
What? All right. Sorry, folks. Give me just a minute.
You know, it's kind of crazy. I wish we had did this fucking earlier.
Why?
I don't
Why?
know. It would to come off like the heels of just watching. Let me watch it again.
I did I not try?
Yeah, you did.
Okay. Getting that out there. All right. We just got that thing done. We
Yeah,
share
but
this.
like, I don't know if I would have wanted to do it back then with you, dude, because you went fucking Super Saiyan 12
I
after that
did,
fucking
sir.
shit.
My voice didn't crack.
Dude, you went
I know
fucking crazy.
somebody's voice cracked, and then like the mic distorted. So let's not get on you.
Oh, yeah, but you like ran off and fought people.
I did. I did. I legit went outside trying to fight my neighbor. It's like Ellie's back, bitch. Let's go.
That's what I'm
Who's Ellie?
saying, dude. You
That's
were
what I'm
fucking
saying. You don't
hiding.
know. You deserve to die.
Oh man.
What'd you say about Trump? Well, fuck you too. Bam. Yeah, I
That
went.
would have been crazy if they did catch the reaction though, because that shit had me so fucking hyped, bro.
I I was like really angry, like losing your mind, and then I
And you knew
knew,
what it was.
yeah, I knew exactly what the fuck it was. And so, like, I had this rage inside of me as if, like, you can't even, you cannot comprehend the rage that was inside of me. Like, that part almost brought me to tears. The fact that three of y'all were watching that shit before me. And then whenever I knew what it was, I was trying to contain it. I was like, you know what? Fuck him. I'm not going to show him that I'm excited. And then, like, whenever it showed her hand and then she hit the strums, like, literally, eyes teared up and I fucking started losing my mind. Like, straight losing my mind.
I couldn't hold it back at that point, dude. That shit was just like, I don't give a fuck if they know what it is, even though I'm not saying what it is, but like by my reaction, they know what it is. I was like, fuck that.
Yeah, this is
Like,
like, so okay. So now that I got everything shared around and I'm starting the game,
Take
are
a
you
breath.
watching the stream so we can discuss what's on screen?
76 lookout action.
well, I'm just rewatching the trailer
Kill
really
all
quick
of them.
just
Oh,
to.
okay, all right.
You talk to the boss? Yeah. He wants everyone to.
Here, I'll pause it. So I don't want to. I don't want to. So just so everybody knows, Dreadhead and I are going to discuss um, our passion for this game, what it did for us gaming wise, and we're going to get in, possibly get into part two and all that. But first, I wanted to bring up, I'll touch on, why this game is so special to me, and then you can discuss, why it's so special to you. Um, I this isn't going to be a full blown review because I can't do it. I can't do the game justice with an actual review. So I'll just say that I'm raising three daughters. That plays a huge role into it. It was the very first game that I had ever played with my wife, and she actually sat through all 15, 20 hours of it by my side throughout the gameplay. Because normally, like, she'll sit down and bit like a little bit of the cutscenes and a little bit of gameplay on whatever game, like Max Payne 3 or whatever. The Grand Theft Auto, she would get a kick out of. Like, she would watch that game for hours online because it was so funny to watch. But nothing had ever grabbed her from a narrative standpoint that like this game was able to do. So that right there plays a huge role into my love with it. But really, for me, it dates back to like when I first started playing games. Like my brother and I were always into the mature themed games. When everybody else was playing Mario and Mario Kart and all that stuff, we were heavy on PC with like Wolfenstein, Doom, Quake. That's the Blade Runner. Like, we played very mature games from a really early age. We were, instead of watching, like, don't get me wrong, we had our Sandlots and stuff that we watched, but we also watched, Bloodsport and, things like that. We just loved, violence and that sort of thing. And in gaming, we had always dreamed of a game that had realistic, brutal, gritty violence. And when this game dropped, I had kept up with it. I read up on it. I knew it was coming. I didn't know a whole lot about it. I didn't know what to expect. I remember the first trailer at E3. I was blown away. And then when I played the game, it exceeded my expectations like tenfold. Like, it was, and I had never been so emotionally invested into an experience, be it film, show, game, what have you. This game just, through the dialogue, through the actual gameplay, through the gameplay set pieces, and I'll get into that more later. This game just completely floored me. It was also the first game that I've ever played, or one of very few. But I think it was actually, I guess it would be my second one, depending on when Max Payne 3 came out. Max Payne 3 is the only other game I know that I did this with. But when I beat the game, as soon as the credits rolled, I immediately started the game over again. And my wife watched that game all the way through as well. So that just goes to show like how this game performed in my eyes. Dooley, you want to go ahead and start talking about? I'm going to go ahead and start the gameplay up, and then you can go ahead and kind of go into your history with it.
Hold their ground. Watch the gate.
Yeah.
All right, you heard it. Get around here.
Well, I mean, like you were saying before, man, it's definitely a game that you can play through, and people can watch it. People that aren't into games can watch it. I remember seeing a lot of articles where there were people who were like movie buffs or they're into movies, and they started gaming. They started, really looking at gaming because of The Last of Us. So it's like, it's crazy that it definitely blurs the line between both of them, where you're getting experiences at once. Yeah, man. I think both of us have played through it more than like 7 or 8 times a piece. Like, that's
yeah, for sure.
Which is cool too, because there's not many games that I could put, like, even if I really like a game, I'll go through it once or twice, 3 times, but like to go through a game multiple times like that, and also experience different things while you're going through the game, is ridiculous. Like, I've played the game multiple times, and through the different difficulty levels. We have to talk about that, where it's just like, going through on the game on Grounded is a completely different experience than what it was going through the game the first time on just normal. And, it really
sorry, I just got bodied.
Yeah?
I just got bodied. Sorry, keep going.
What, did he punch you in the face?
Yeah, I'm not playing it like you would normally play Grounded. I'm just fucking around. So, keep going.
I'm good right now. Yeah. So I don't know, man. It's been crazy. I think everyone's excited right now because of that fucking trailer. Which, it's like, that in itself goes to show you how good that, like, Naughty Dog is, dude. The fact that they released a trailer with no type of action, it was just really subtle, really simple, and there's so many different questions that are being asked by people right now. I've seen countless reaction videos to people actually seeing the game, and everyone has so many different questions. They're talking about what Ellie did and how much older she is, and is Joel alive or is he dead, and you know what I'm saying? Like, it just, there's so many different questions that are being asked right now off of a simple trailer with not much in it. And that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Like, there's not that many people that could get that off of one trailer without showing tons and tons and tons of stuff. Like, for instance, they had the Red Dead Redemption trailer, right? And they showed a lot. They showed a lot in that trailer, but I wasn't blown away by it. There was nothing in there that made me feel like, oh yeah, like I'm excited because of the game, and I know Red Dead Redemption is gonna be good because it's Rockstar. But like, there was nothing in the trailer that made me like, holy shit, like this is fucking amazing. And just like the little subtleties in the trailer, that's fucking nuts, man. Like the fact that like you could see like where she punched people, from like the teeth marks that are on her hands, or like the fact that when she makes a fist, that like the blood actually leaves from around her knuckles, like the fact that she has a bite mark on her neck. Like, what was she doing to these people that like biting was the last resort that they had to do?
Like, how do you justify biting somebody?
Yeah, like that is a very last minute, like, yo, I'm just, that's all I have left. So that means that she's like super vicious, dude. And it's like, from what Joel comes in and he's just like, he didn't even, about her being like fucked up. He's like, you know what I'm saying? He could have, like, old Joel and like old Ellie, he would have ran over, are you okay, this and that. And she's her own fucking beast to the point where he just comes in like, so this is what we're doing? Like, he right. Ask her, like, that's so badass, dude. Like, and I mean, there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of things that like are up in the air right now. The fact that we're going to be playing as Ellie the whole time through this time around, or maybe they'll switch it up like how they did in the last game. But yeah, man, it's exciting, dude. Like, I'm really friggin' excited to see what they're gonna pull off. And,
well, you had touched on earlier that like nobody other than, you know, Naughty Dog essentially. I'm not even paying attention. I'm just getting straight bodied right now. I'm also I'm kind of just like dying over and over again on this part, so we can start discussing the gameplay. Just buying time, really. But the way they build the excitement with the trailer that essentially doesn't really show much, but it says everything. You know what I mean? Like that is just quite brilliant. And another thing to touch on is because people are like, I don't get excited about CGI trailers. Well, except that wasn't CGI. Okay, why people still haven't grasped that yet is beyond me. The Naughty Dog has used their new engine that they're using is all real time cutscenes. They talked about that. It was used in Uncharted 4. So, and that show like
no load times. It's just directly from the frickin' the in-game cutscenes to just right into the frickin' game. There's no disconnect. There's no load. There's nothing.
Oh.
So.
Yeah, well, there's a they do a cinematic type lighting whenever they go into the cutscenes. So there is a difference. The graphic fidelity appears to be better, but it's all in game. It's all in game models, and that's why they're able to do such fluid in and out of cutscenes the way they do. So kind of like how the Order was as well.
Kind of crazy right now that's up in the air. Like, a lot of people are like, is that pro footage or is that vanilla footage? So now it's like, now with that console being out, it's just like there's gonna be this little up and down where people are like, oh, that has to be pro footage or whatever, you know?
Well, just go look at Uncharted 4. That tells you everything you need to know.
But that's what I'm saying. I think from now on they should just specify exactly what it is, honestly, because like we don't want to go through the back and forth of which is what. But yeah, I think it'll look fucking phenomenal on the vanilla one.
No, I hear what you're saying, but I disagree, and here's why. These companies should not cater to the stupid ass YouTube discussions out there. Nor should anybody cater to the console war. Like, if you're a fan of experiences, you should own both consoles or all three. You know what I'm saying? Like, why cater to a certain group or a narrative simply to
it's just telling
appease?
What it is, though. I mean, at the same time, you don't want it to be like
misleading. Yeah.
You know, and that's what people do. Like, some people they expect things. It's not like they look at it and say, oh, well, this is what it is. It's just, no, I expect that. And when it's not there, they want to fucking complain about it and shit.
Let me just go ahead and use this as a segue. I just got torched by one of the hunters who also torched his buddy in the process. Let's go ahead and dive into it. Are you watching the stream? Are you caught up?
Well, I'm not watching the stream because I could click on it now, but I'm gonna hear like double voice.
Take a breath.
All right, cool. I'm with you.
Just mute it. All I'm saying is like so you can maybe tell me what to do as far as like, oh well, I thought of this, do this, and show people what this is all about. All right, so I want to dive into because everybody always talks about the narrative in games, and is it more important than gameplay? And it appears like Sony in particular, who's always been a narrative-based single-player experience type of company, and their games that at least that they're familiar with typically go for the story over gameplay. Now, I know you and I feel differently from everybody else, but I want to dive into that. The game is known for its story, but in my opinion, and I think you will agree with me, the gameplay is equally as good, and also you can't deliver.
For instance, I see you choking out the guy, right? And the NPC just doesn't turn into a fucking
ragdoll
shield that just lifeless and ragdolled out. Like you have to wrestle them down.
Right. And again, people, we're playing on grounded, so there's no HUD, there's no indication of ammo, health. There's none of that. I mean, it's just. This is as raw as it gets. I mean, this game on grounded mode is no joke. And I'll show some stuff off like here in a second. Like, see, this guy's fighting for his life. Hold on, let me get his friends mad. He's gonna fight me back before I get a chance to.
Well, that's the thing about it. If they see that you're not gonna pull the trigger, like you're hesitating to pull the trigger, they'll turn around and fight you after a while.
Right, I know. There he goes. Shit. Oh, fuck you. Alright, that didn't work. They're too far away. Alright, let's try it again. Alright, so look. Y'all see this right here? Revolver. Let me switch to this one. And then bend over so y'all can see it and I'll put it back. I'm going to switch back to the revolver. See how the hammer's cocked back on it? That's showing you that there's no ammo in the gun. I mean, there's not games out there that do this kind of detail. Whenever I stand up and walk around, see how he's doubled over?
Yo, just aim in right now. Aim in on something and try to keep his gun steady. Do you have him like upgraded?
Yeah, this is grounded plus, so he's almost fully upgraded.
Okay, so like whenever you start the game the first time and you shoot, the gun actually moves and sways, and depending on if you've been running or if you've been hit, the gun sways differently when you aim in.
Oh right, yeah. Exactly. So let's go ahead and start. Oh, I missed. The gameplay to this game, I don't think the narrative works without the gameplay. Now, most people played it on normal or easy. I think a lot of people actually played it on easy because this game is actually quite challenging, even on normal. Oh, I missed. Oh, he just did a backflip. So let's just start diving into it. Okay, so the gameplay is very raw, very gritty. The way I like to describe it to people that have never played it or experienced a lot of these third-person type games is a lot of games lack what I call weight. There's no weight to it. Whenever you first fire this up and you shoot that revolver off for the very first time, you feel that in your chest. Like it's not just the sound, it's the hit detection, it's the how the enemies react to getting hit. You know what I mean? Like there's so much weight to everything. Hold on.
Get your hands off him.
See, he's trying to fight for his friend's life. This guy's flanking me. The grounded mode is a beast. See if I can make this guy do something. Sometimes I'll shoot their friend. Sometimes they'll run away if you blow this guy's brains out. It just kind of depends.
And the NPC knows that. It knows that you have his friend in cover, because then he's just like, get off of him. Like the fact that people don't pay attention to this type of stuff and they're like, the AI is like retarded, doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, the other thing to note is on most games, especially shooters, whenever you put it on the hardest mode, or even if you step up in just different difficulties, they normally just give the enemies more health, better aim, that sort of thing. In this game, the enemies have the same health. right? You can headshot, like, as y'all have been seeing, I can headshot any of them one time and they're dead, unless they have a helmet on. What makes this game so much more challenging is the fact that you actually you have to scavenge for your resources. Which right now I have quite a bit. This is not your first time playing grounded mode. You'll never have this much at one time ever. I just know how to play it now.
And like one bullet.
Right, like your brick is your friend. Like normally, like the first time you play grounded, you're using the bricks and bottles for every goddamn thing. Right now, I'm just trying to fuck with the AI. But yeah, so like that, and that's what I love about it because it still maintains the realism that the world within The Last of Us sets for you. Like it doesn't make it frustrating in the sense that like, well, he's a bullet sponge and that's annoying.
Your clip is empty, right? On that first pistol.
Oh yeah, you want me to see if I can get him to do the thing?
Yep.
All right, let me get close to this one.
Because that was also another thing. A lot of people are like, oh, in the game, whenever you run out of ammunition, they don't attack you or they don't react.
Right.
And it's like, people don't remember that, like, they usually switch the weapons.
Fuck. I have no health. Getting blasted on.
He actually heard the frickin'...
Yeah, oh, here's a good spot to do it on. I'll shoot once with the other gun and then do it again, see if I can get him to do it.
Hold him first, and then put the gun to his head, and then friggin' pull the trigger.
Can I switch my gun while I have him when I'm holding him? Let's just try it this way first.
Use the empty gun, hold him, and then when you hold him, just friggin' try to shoot him.
Okay, now let's shoot him. I've only ever had it work indoors, but
the video was interrupted. The stream has stopped streaming.
It appears to be streaming. I'm all fucked up now. Oh, you bodied me. Damn it. Let me check on mine.
Yeah, now it's back up.
Okay. He bodied me. All right. So, what in particular, like, what was it for you that kind of set this game apart from everybody else, or all the other games out there?
It's so many different things, man. It was the story, it was the character development, the AI.
Well, let's touch on that real quick. So the character development, I don't know if a lot of people caught on to this, but there was a lot of hesitation on both Joel's part and Ellie's in the beginning of the game. But as you start to earn each other's trust, she starts to get closer to you. Like whenever you're in combat, she'll like run up underneath your arm if you're behind cover. She's more prone to, or she's more eager to help you or assist you if need be. Like if you get attacked from behind or whatever, she'll come in with her blade and stab somebody. Like they started becoming closer in just gameplay, not only in narrative. You know what I mean? And I don't know if a lot of people caught on to that. Like that's, and it's not even that you're kind of necessarily supposed to catch on to that. It was just a subliminal thing that would happen within the game that would make the player start to also develop a bond on behalf of the two characters that were being displayed. You know what I mean? Like that part was quite brilliant.
Even the part that you're playing right now is a pretty memorable moment when Joel gives her the sniper and he like teaches her really quick how to snipe, and he's like, all right, well, you have to have my back on this because like there's like a ton of them, you know, like I need your help. I need you to do this. And from that point on is where like Ellie can use bullets and different things like that to kind of help you out instead of just calling people out or stabbing them and stuff. So yeah, it's really good.
I like how like whenever you get shot, depending on the caliber of the bullet that their enemies are shooting at you, it'll put you on your ass, and like people would say, "Oh, animations don't affect gameplay." Well, that's an animation. Correct me if I'm wrong. And when you get put on your ass, on your back, and then you have to get back up, that affects your gameplay and if you're going to live or not. Yeah, exactly. I'm about to fuck this dude up. Good shit, Ellie. I've played this so many times, and every time I've played it, this is on my second playthrough of Grounded, and every time I play this game, I find new shit, new stuff happens. Like, whenever you get in a fist fight and you walk away from it, like his face is all bloody, like bleeding out of his nose and shit. Oh. Just bodying people right now. Let's go. You're dead.
Yeah, the level design is actually really good too. It's only such like a small area, but there's just so many different little nooks and crannies and different things to hide in.
Right. So the new one, they said it's going to be a lot more open. I assume Uncharted 4 was the precursor to that, right? So in Uncharted 4, while both being linear, which I personally quite enjoy linear because there's so many games that are trying to be open world sandbox type games now that it's a breath of fresh air to be able to just play what the developers wanted you to play, you know what I mean? So I enjoy both, but they're going to have a lot of open areas, I imagine, which I would assume is going to be, hopefully, it's going to be more like Dying Light in the sense that you truly feel like you're scavenging through a city, through trunks of cars and that sort of thing, trying to find your supplies. Because this game, you do the same thing, sort of, but it's not as fleshed out as like Dying Light is, for example. And that would be a really good addition to the second one. Look at his face. Look. Oh, dead. How do you feel about the open world standpoint, or more open world?
Or
do you care?
I'm not exactly too ecstatic about that because I mean it's got to be done in the right way. If it's just more open area where you're just walking through, like you already know how I feel about that. Like there has to be a reason for them to have all that open space and the open area for you to be able to go through. So I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I would imagine that with Days Gone coming out and what they've already shown off, The Last of Us has to be the same, if not better. You know what I mean? So, as far as like the open areas, I just want I want it to be more alive than what was shown off in Uncharted 4, because in Uncharted 4, a lot of the open areas were kind of like just landscapes. It wasn't a lot of life, if you will. So, and most people probably know that you and I put, I mean, I got damn near 1,000 hours on multiplayer alone. So, I'm kind of like, I suck at playing games and talking at the same time. What else about the gameplay did stand out for you? Like, for me, oh shit. Oh, I tried to bother. Get him, Ellie. Get him, Ellie. Fuck.
Silver, you in a party?
Yeah, I'm in a party. Can't you hear the other person talking? You know, with this game, the narrative sets up the gameplay, right? So at one point in the game, and if you haven't played it by now, you weren't going to play it anyway, so spoilers, fuck off. The part where David has her, right? And Joel wakes up from his coma, if you will. He comes to the realization that she has now been kidnapped, if you will, and he's on a war path. And the cutscene shows that anger in his tone of his voice and whatnot, and his body language is showing how fucking distraught he is about it. And so you, as the player, after witnessing this entire journey, right, and seeing how mad he is, you also feel the same way. And so you want, during that part of the game, you want to rush through that segment of the game as fast as possible and blow everyone that gets in your way away, because you're trying to get to her as fast as possible. It makes you want to play aggressively. I mean, did you have the same experience with that?
Yeah,
with that
definitely.
scene?
And especially when you start seeing him really go back to the Joel that they hinted at. They kind of talked about it. His brother was like, dude, you used to do some fucked up things things to people.
Right.
And even when Ellie was talking, like, how did you know that they were going to try to take us off the road? And he's like, because I've been on the other side.
I've been on
So
both sides,
there's a
yeah.
whole other, yeah, like there's a whole other side to Joel that like is hinted at the game, and it pops up every once in a while. So like those rare moments where he's going through and stabbing people in the fucking leg and like shooting people's dicks off, you know what I'm saying? Like
right.
like it just shows you how vicious he can be, but like at the same time, how much like how like for me, there's certain things that are interpreted in the game that people are like, okay, cool. Like, isn't Ellie gay because she kissed the girl? And for me, it wasn't really a thing about being gay or not. It was more of a thing about survival and finding people that like you love. You know what I'm saying? Because there's not that many people that you could trust and love in this universe. So it wasn't really a whole gay thing with me. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, so that's a good point. So, and that's the Left Behind DLC for this game. As far as the DLC is concerned, in that moment, I take from the first game, right? And so the first game is all about, and I'm gonna misquote what I said. Let me grab it real quick because a few months back, Solid Rev and a few other guys were discussing this game, and they were given their interpretation of like, how would you describe this? What's the synopsis of it? What this and that? And I kind of boiled mine down to a simple phrase. And let me just pull that up to make sure I get it right. Hold on just a second. Okay, so the way I sum this game up is total loss forces a man to survive by any means necessary by tapping into his animalistic instincts until a young girl forces him to find his humanity despite the survival of humanity. That's the way I describe this game, right? And so with that mentality, to me, she was born into this world of demise and hatred and survival, and it's just very animalistic. And so, like to touch on what you were saying, in order for, and since that was the one true person she cared about and had stuck around, whenever she knew that was about to be their last moment, she just reacted to what felt natural to her. She wanted to express her love for her or her fondness of her, and so she just kissed her, right? Like, it wasn't a thought of, is this, there it is, he just did it. Are you out of bullets? He's out of bullets. He just did it. Again, remember, people said in E3 that doesn't happen in the game. I just proved that wrong. Either way, is everybody has a different interpretation. None of them are wrong. And to me, that's part of what makes this game so brilliant. I mean, the reason why in party chats, this game will still be brought up about the ending, whether you are like it, against it, whatever, it's irrelevant, because they wrote that the way they wrote it simply to get people to talk about it. And that's kind of the goal. So, like, it's brilliant in that aspect. I'm sorry, so I cut you off. So where are you going with that? With her kissing and...
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
I mean,
I cut you off.
that's another thing too. The ending was a very, some people freaking love it, some people hate it, but it's talked about like crazy because some people agree, some people disagree with it. I don't know, man. Like, you know what's another thing too, yo? It was a game that was actually pretty damn long. I think it takes about like what, eight or 9 hours.
No,
to
it's
get through it, right?
it's 15 on normal, and then on grounded, depending on the player. I mean, you beat it in what, 19, if I remember right.
That's crazy.
So yeah,
And
that's
it's just like when the game ended, like I still wanted more, and that's like very rare that you go through something like this and you're just like, oh well, I'm good. Like it's good to play through and finish it, but I wanted more, dude. It's crazy.
I personally was kind of in this weird. I mean, I started the game over immediately, but when it ended and the credits started to roll, I had this feeling that came over me that I had never experienced before, and it was just deep sorrow, sadness for what I had just gone through, because it was an experience. I mean, you felt this game. Like, it wasn't just fun, and like I personally love Call of Duty campaigns. I really get into them. I enjoy them. To me, they're like watching a Michael Bay film. I know what it is going into it. I enjoy it, right? With this game, it was, or let me back up. So with Uncharted, those games were always, and I came into that series kind of late. That was a lighthearted, fun. The gunplay in that game all represents the lightheartedness of that game. The overall tone of it is kind of like Indiana Jones. This game is more tailored made for me, which is more dark, gritty, violent. No Country. What's that movie? No Country for Old Men. Like, it's very gritty, very raw, and you feel every ounce of every action that you take in this game. I'll have a video that I'm gonna roll out going over the gameplay a little bit more in depth here tomorrow, hopefully, that will kind of showcase what I'm talking about. But like, when you hit somebody's face with a bat, right, and it makes that sound where it sounds like it's cracking bone, and then that character ends up hitting his face on a banister or a windowsill, and then it has its own sound for hitting his head on a banister. Like, you feel that on top of the fact that the NPCs are talking back to you, like grimacing or fighting for their life or trying to just straight up murder you without cause. Like, there's so much weight behind everything. Like, again, I just want to point out. Go ahead.
When you have a fucking problem killing like the surgeons at the end because they were innocent, and that really plays off. I remember they specifically put that at the end of the game to see how involved you were in trying to get to Ellie. Like, some people will go in there and just murder them and not even realize that they were innocent people. Like, they were just surgeons. And then there's some people that went in there and they thought about it. Like, wait a minute, like, they're not attacking me, but like, I have to get to her, you know?
Right. So how did you do it? Whenever you first encountered that, what happened? What was your first thought? What was your first action?
I hesitated the first time I went in because I was just like, okay, are they going to attack me or not? And they had the knife and whatever, right? Like, I seen one today, which I didn't even know this was possible. If you just run up to them and melee them, you take the scalpel out of the doctor's hand and stab them in the neck.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that was a thing. Like,
I never did that. I for one walked in and I guess my wife can correct me if I'm wrong, but the way I remember it is I just walked in without hesitation and started headshotting folks, like, bad like. And you know what I mean? Like, and just to touch on narrative, right? Whenever you grab her and then it starts the cutscene where he's like talking to her and she's not responding because she's, under anesthesia, and you start running with her trying to find a way out and they're all shooting at you. Like, that was so powerful to me. That was one of the moments that made my wife cry. Did you have any kind of emotional reaction to that point as well?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think the game made me cry at any point. It definitely hit home with me, a lot of the things, but it brings the emotion out of me for sure.
Right. So I wonder if that's where my disconnect is. Like, I mean, part of it is because every game, like, when my brother and I would discuss, like, what would be our perfect game, we described this game without knowing this game was on its way out, right? So that's part of it. And then the other side of it is, I am raising 3 daughters. So, and I don't even necessarily look at their relationship as father-daughter like everybody else does, but to me, it's just him grasping for the last piece of humanity that he can find within himself through her. But for me, it was like the scene that got me, and to this day, it's hard for me to watch it and not get a reaction out of myself. But the part where she finally gets to beast on David with that machete, and he comes up behind her and grabs her, that scene every single time gets me. Every time. The first time I saw that, dude, that part had me like tears in my eyes rolling down my cheek, and I was mad. I was like, okay, now how am I, a grown-ass man, tearing up, borderline crying, not like, sobbing like a 12-year-old schoolgirl, but like tears down my face from a video game. There's not very many movies that get me like that. The only movie that truly ever got me like that was Of Mice and Men and Marley and Me. Outside of that, there hasn't been very many, and this game did that for me. But I think that's kind of the brilliance behind our love for the industry, is because we play a role in the story that's being told. Whether you're playing Mass Effect and you're directly choosing the dialogue, or if it's like this game, which is more or less like a book or a movie, because it's already played out for you, right? It's going to end, it's going to do, everything's going to be the way they wanted it to be from the get-go. The only difference is that you're kind of guiding them on how to get to those points, right? And some people don't like that. They'd rather it be, you choose. But the problem with that is that you don't get the ending like you got in this game. Because if you could choose, people would choose different paths, and you wouldn't get this ending that makes people mad. It wouldn't happen because those people wouldn't have done that. You know what I mean? Like, go ahead.
That whole scene that you're talking about is fucking ridiculous because number one, just to get there, you have to go through the snow and like the visibility is fucking terrible. So there's been times that I've been walking into a situation that I didn't even know I was getting myself into because you could barely see in front of yourself. And it's just like, you can also use the snow as a way to just get away from people. Like if you could run away fast enough and just duck in someplace. But just so many little things in that game are just so good in that part, man. Like when you go into the different stores and you're seeing all these little different items that they have like the PlayStation on the bottom shelf and just, it's just, the part where she's hacking David's face off, dude, and then Joel runs up and holds her. And she almost attacks him at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That point, it's a very memorable moment, not only for what happens, but what happens to Ellie from beyond that point. Like, she completely fucking shuts down after that.
Right. Yeah, and she becomes like very standoffish and very like who am I now? And real quick before I forget, like I'm on this photo mode. I want to show off some things. Now this is the remastered version. Obviously, it's not PS3, but like the cord that's on the bow, you see how it's braided in a certain way? That's because I upgraded it and it's a stronger cord. Whenever you first get the bow, the string does not look like that. It's not as thick. You know what I'm saying? Look at the detail in this game. Like whenever I got in a fist fight and he's all bloody on his nose, it's dripping down his chest. He got shot over here in his arm. See the spot? Whoops. See the spot on his arm where he got shot, and then the blood's trickling down his hands or his arm. And people are saying like, oh, well, that trailer, the new trailer is not gameplay. It's like, well, if this is a PS3 game, what makes you think that that's not at least a pretty accurate representation? On top of the fact, if you haven't watched Next Gamer's in-depth technical review of the trailer, then, you know, I would highly suggest you watch that because he actually goes in on that. I actually made one of these as a prop. I dropped it and it broke. And I wasn't done airbrushing it yet, but I actually made me a melee stick just so people can see it. Wow. See? Melee stick. It's fucking awesome. You know, like just the intricacies of how he, you know, binds the broken scissors to this thing to make it a one-hit stick. Somebody's saying they're bored. I'm sorry. What would you like to see me do? Anyway, yeah, this game is just, oh my god. See, for me, like, the narrative doesn't work without having this gameplay affect you in the way that it does. Like, it's hard, it's just for people that, I just don't understand how people are like, this game is all about narrative, no gameplay. I just don't understand what they're talking about, because this game has less cutscenes than I'm not going to throw a number out there because it's probably going to be wrong, but I would say probably 70% of the games out there, like, there's actually 30 minutes less cutscenes than Uncharted 3, and it's 3 times as long. Like, I don't know what people are talking about. I truly don't. I have no idea what they're referring to, and this game is like playing a movie. To me, you're describing Heavy Rain, which is supposed to be that way, or, you know, The Walking Dead. This game is just nothing but gameplay. The narrative is also told during gameplay, like through the dialogue between the AI, which is also carried over from Uncharted. Oh, see the way he gurgles whenever I shot him in the throat with a bow? What drew you to the multiplayer?
The multiplayer was just, let me see. It was something that was definitely just different. The crafting aspect in the multiplayer, and just the fact that it wasn't COD, man. This game is the multiplayer. You have to, like, watching you get chased down right now.
Yeah, they're on me like crazy.
Nothing has more cutscenes than a Telltale Games. LOL.
Yeah. Oh fuck.
Like look at the AI move around it, dude. Like, it's not like, how is that fucking, people are like, oh well, this game doesn't really have good, like, it fucking baffles me, dude.
Well, so I was telling some friends the other night, like, I noticed the AI and how brilliant they are on easy mode because I was watching my 7-year-old play it, and she sucks at the games. And so, like, she was breaking the game, like, because she was doing things that no normal gamer would ever do, because she just doesn't know what she was doing, especially in the very beginning. Now she'll go straight beast mode on him. But, like, when she first started playing it, I started noticing things like they would just do things. Oh, whoops, I didn't do that. I'm not gonna be able to even. I don't even remember exactly how she activated, but the stuff that I saw them do to her was just insane. Like, I've had them kill their friends off, like. You know what I'm saying? Like where you hold them hostage and then, oh, I got bodied. She just did things that were just insane. Like she got these big ass bras. Like I saw at one point, I don't think it was this part. At one point there was like several guys and she just ran up and started punching one of them. Well, then all the other guys, some of them had guns, but they saw that Joel was fighting this one dude, so the other AI rushed in and started boxing her as well. Like they were like, all right, cool, we respect you for trying to, bring your fist to a gunfight, so we're going to box it out. I had never seen that before because I would never have thought to do that because that's just, sheer suicide. So the fact that they do things like that are very dynamic and it just blows my mind. The only other game that I can think of, and I know there's plenty of games out there that I haven't experienced, and maybe people can correct me, but the only other game that I know that has AI that's as smart as this AI is Fear. Fear has some pretty from what I remember, some pretty amazing AI. And that's not to say that this game doesn't have its flaws. Like, see, I'm in his peripheral vision, he doesn't see me. That's a flaw, obviously. But you have to give the game a break because they can't do everything right. I mean, at this point, if that's what's causing the disconnect for you, you're reaching. You know what I mean? Like, to a certain degree, you have to give some leeway for all the shit that they did do right. Like Joel's hair doesn't move, you know what I mean? But like in Uncharted 4, it does. So that certain things you'll see in the second one that this one doesn't. Oh, I love doing that. There's something else I wanted to bring up, and I'm going to leave off on it. What else do you want to touch on? And also, if you're watching, please feel free to chime in. And at this point, I'll be willing to let other people come into the conversation if you would like. I just don't want to get into a debate. If you're coming in here to try to just troll me because you know how much I love this game, I will boot your bitch ass. Because I'm not trying to get trolled right now. This game right here for me is all my gaming career, if you call it a career. Ooh shit, he whiffed it. Summed up into one game, you know what I mean? Like I have a strong love for this game. So if there's anybody in the chat that would like to get in on the chat or in the party chat, please let me know. And if you have something to say in the comments. Oh, I missed the ball. You can actually shoot the Molotovs and it'll blow up on them. Yeah. Oh, I missed. All right, let's see if oh. Oh, son of a...
Funny too, because the Molly guys will try to go around and freaking.
They straight flank you. Yeah. I'm gonna throw a brick at this dude for no reason.
There he goes.
Hey, don't be cheering the AI on.
That's the thing about it. For anybody that says the AI isn't all that smart and all that, I dare them to play it on grounded mode.
Well, I feel like if you
that wrote a book on Amazon.
If you only ever play this on normal, do yourself a favor and play this on grounded, because the experience you're going to have is vastly different from the normal mode. Because I always start every campaign off on normal because that's the way the devs wanted you to play it. Now, some games you can play on harder, like Call of Duty and stuff, just because it's too easy on normal. But this game here, you want to experience the narrative. You don't want to have to get. Oh shit! I fucked up. You don't want to struggle. You don't want to struggle with the. See the way he just died up against the car and then fell down? Like, that's just the animation in this game. If you're struggling to complete a level and you're getting frustrated, that can cause you to overlook some of its brilliance. You know what I mean? So I highly suggest playing on normal first, and then once you've done that, go back through and play it on the harder difficulties, because what will happen to you is just amazing. Like the sense of satisfaction you get from completing a portion of a level, if you will, with only having an arrow in the beginning. Like, you literally walk into this thing, you're like, okay, there's 12 dudes here, some clickers. How the hell am I going to get through here with one arrow? And then when you finally do it, there's a sense of accomplishment that very few games can give you. I mean, there's some games out there like the Dark Souls series, Bloodborne, they do that, but this game for me,
how you could use the freaking AI against each other, like how you could send like the figures against the freaking human AI, and that was done more in the Left Behind DLC than it was in the original single player. But even that, man, the fucking Left Behind DLC was so. I was not expecting.
Well, they did some things that, from a DLC perspective, that's pretty amazing. They tied it into the campaign very well, because basically what it did was it enhanced the experience that you had already had. You know what I'm saying? Like it basically gave you a more of a who Ellie is sort of scenario.
What she had to go through when freaking.
Hold on, everybody has to hear that clicking sound like you hit upside the head of the bat. Did you all hear that? Sorry. Go ahead. Again, I'm just fucking around. I'm not even trying to beat this. I'm just. Normally I wouldn't even shoot any of these people. Yeah,
no bone cracking.
The Left Behind, they also were able to take chances in ways that they didn't feel like doing in the campaign. Because, like with the whole kissing thing, like they weren't going to put that in the overall game because they didn't want it to. It didn't play a role. It wouldn't have made sense in the campaign. But because it was DLC, it actually made sense, and it told more of a story about humanity during those times, in my opinion. So, like, it was just a brilliant way to handle DLC, in my opinion.
Animation doesn't make a difference in my bit, dude. I just seen Joel just dodge on 2 fucking bullets because he ducked his fucking head and shit, like, you know?
Oh, right. Yeah, good point. Alright, I'm out of ammo now. Brick time! Where'd I kill that dude at? Was he outside? I could have swore I shot somebody in the head over here. Didn't I?
Yeah, that with the brick is fucking awesome too.
Yeah, what happened? I'm about to beat on somebody with this fucking brick. I don't quit doing that. Oh, here we go. Look at all these sons of bitches.
It's funny that Watch Dogs 2 is a better game because of broken AI. Laugh.
Get her, Ellie! Get him, Ellie! Get him, Ellie! Get him, Ellie! Ellie! Oh, he just fucked me up. I'm dead. Whoopsie. Yeah, I'm done. Oh, no, no. Oh, now I am. Oh my god, he went Galahad on me. Where is she?
Yep.
Which is another, okay, let me just, now that I just said that randomly. You know, that game is a prime example of needed more gameplay to complement, the narrative. But when the gameplay was there, it was quite powerful. Like, the way you would dismember people with the guns, and like, the animations they use when you're getting shot at, and the dialogue that he would use while in combat, like, was quite brilliant. And this game just basically was like that, except it has a shitload more of it. I mean, that's a game that needed more gameplay, and on a sequel with more gameplay, that could be a brilliant series. Oh, he got me first. Oh, look, shattered my face. Yeah, it's like, well, again, like that part with Galahad, whenever he's like, where is she? Like, after that scene takes over, like, after you take control of him again, you feel like you need to just bash everybody's face in. Like, you feel like, okay, he's trying to find this bitch. Let's help him do that by crushing everyone. You know what I mean? Like, to me, narrative really complements the gameplay. And when people say narrative over gameplay, which one do you prefer? I like to think of, you know, Sony's trying really hard, at least with their studios. They're trying to, you know, up both.
Between Days Gone, that looks like pretty, you know, story heavy. Horizon, which looks pretty story heavy, but it also has these elements of like whenever you're fighting
LOL.
against a monster, it has like different areas and weak spots that you can hit it at, and all these different animations, and they'll react a different way depending on how you attack them. Like it's freaking nuts, man.
Yeah, hold on just a second. I'm trying to catch up with my comments here.
That's Watch Dogs 2.
Yeah, let me go ahead and I think Bear wants to join. Let's get his take on this whole thing. Bear, I swear to God, if you troll me, hey, go ahead and suggest him in my chat. Oh, no, mind, he's actually pretty easy to find. His like changes. I've got his like we shared our names or whatever. So like now I'll look for Chop, but he's under a different name, and it's like oh. All right, there we go.
Yeah, he's in there suggested.
All right. Now that you and I could go for
going to troll you, relax, man. Jesus.
We go through for hours. Like you and I have literally, while playing online and stuff in this game, have gone hours discussing this game and the intricacies of it and the gameplay. And as soon as we go live with it, I'm just drawing blanks. Like it's pissing me off. Oh, there's nothing, sir. You're dead.
I'm just looking at this thing like I can't believe this is a fucking PS3 game, bro. Like,
oh, I know, right?
That's some real shit.
The PS3 was a powerful console last gen with the cell processor, and Naughty Dog took advantage of it. That's the reason why that game looks as good as it does.
Stem cells?
Yeah, right.
What's up, man?
What's going on, man?
Tonight?
Photo mode. Dooley, have you used this photo mode a lot?
I used it when it first came out.
Can I not move over there? I don't remember if I can go over there.
Yeah, you could put it off of him so you could like scope out and see like the whole map and shit.
Are you sure? Because I can't figure out how to do it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh well, fuck it.
What is it? Depth of field, maybe?
Yeah, if that only zooms in though, it won't. It's not like theater mode.
Yeah,
good job, Ellie.
See if we can grab one of the guys and like put the empty clip to his head and see what he does.
Now he's not doing his face so bad. Oh shit! Get him, Ellie. Oh shit! Go. And die. So Bear, what do you have anything you want to throw in?
I just want the goddamn sequel already, damn it.
I said
how amazing that story was told from beginning to end. I mean, that game has no fucking whimper moments at all throughout the course of that entire game. Nothing. Like,
yeah, the pacing is
like,
brilliant.
The pacing in that game is that's how people should visualize story fidelity as far as developers.
Emoji Evergreen Cream 1971445085.
How you start off playing shit like that, like.
Yeah, well, that alone, let alone like that part there, it's like it's already intense tenfold right off the bat. And then like going into the title screen, I mean, I sat back and I've seen so many reaction videos of people like all like the major moments in The Last of Us that actually would cause an impact towards emotional stuff like that, whatever you want to call it. Everybody that I've seen, well, except for myself because of how many times I've fucking seen that beginning of the intro, but was deeply affected by that intro, like severely. Like it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
There's
now,
not
as far
many
as
games where you're seeing little kids just get fucking
killed
offed and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like,
most of the time, that's usually never allowed in freaking video games, man.
Right.
Unless you bug it out like Fallout 3, but that's besides the point. But anyways, yeah, I mean, we all know, we've all been talking about this now for the longest time of how badly we've been itching for. And yeah, I mean, I don't really, there's only one issue or one concern that I have, which is related towards multiplayer, but as far as the actual story goes and single player, from what I've heard about her being 19 and the whole hate theme aspect too as well, Yeah, even though I have heard people get viciously upset over the fact that you're going to be playing as a female protagonist, which makes zero sense to me at all. But fuck it, each their own, I guess.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you didn't if they were going to use the same characters and they were going to make a sequel, how did you not realize it was going to be Ellie as the main character? Like, what part of this game showed you that any other way?
The DLC alone, fucking, even though I still have yet to play that, and I'm going to, so don't fucking rip me a new a-hole.
Oh no, it's awesome. You'll like it.
No, I know. I'll get around getting back into that. What was I going to say? The DLC alone, which is mainly on Ellie and her best friend, fucking, it's kind of blatantly obvious that if a sequel would ever come out, that it was going to be based on her.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't understand how people were somewhat misled, if you will. That's just whatever. Yeah. You obviously suck at understanding storylines, but how do you feel about like what was the standout parts of the gameplay that really kind of drew you in?
Personally?
Yeah.
I think majority of the actual fucking tense moments stood out to me the most. Like the scene with the daughter, freaking.
Oh God.
Even the actual conversation that you have with, I forget what his name is, but it's at the very beginning of the game before you actually come across Ellie and whatever you want to call it, when you meet that girl from the Firefly fucking the very first time. I forget what his freaking name is. The one that you see in the alleyway there that you're actually originally going to at the cutscene.
Right. Yeah.
I forget what his name is. You know what I'm talking about. Even that, because like that's what I mean, and that's what makes Last of Us storytelling. I don't really want to use the word perfected, but I'm kind of going to have to go with that because it kind of somewhat is. Going back to what we were saying before about the whole entire pacing aspect of The Last of Us, it's beginning to end. There isn't a moment where you feel bored. You know what I mean?
Right,
so like every single thing or every major element from like when you go through all the seasons, it's remarkable because you have no idea what to expect. Like when you go from what was there, summer to winter. You have that whole entire situation that breaks down in between that about Joel and Ellie, whatever you want to call it. The next thing when you start winter and you're playing as Ellie, your whole entire mind is, well, where the fuck is Joel? Is he dead? Is he alive? What the fuck happened? They don't tell you.
Well, that part when you take over, when you take over the stick as Ellie, that shit blew me away. Like I was not ready for that.
Yeah, the last time I experienced something like that, where like the main protagonist that you play for like 50% of the game was, well, this one here was actually at the end of the game, but it kind of reminded me a lot like what happens in Red Dead Redemption. You know what I mean, for the ending. And but putting that aside, well, I'm not really spoiling anything. Well, I kind of did, but
no, I know.
It was old as shit. But anyways, that's the thing. Like those story arches like that, or arcs, whatever you want to say it. I want to see more of that in storytelling games, because that alone is what keeps you playing, keeps you invested into playing the game, because you want to know if this character is still alive or not. You know what I mean? Because you actually have an emotional impact with that said character right from the offset. You know, in the way they wrote the script for this game and the way they acted out. Again, at the very beginning, you already feel something for Joel right from the very beginning of the game, and it has no letting the fuck up the whole entire time when you're. In my opinion, I think it's the way to go. I think this game is going to be a hell of a lot more intense, way more fucking intensified.
Yeah,
was that an excitement laugh that I just heard from you?
Yeah, when he said this game's gonna be about hate, I fucking about lost my mind.
It's gonna be dark, man. That's a thing that they tend to do anyway. Like their games, like all the Naughty Dog games, have pretty much got darker over the period of time. So, and Last of Us is already pretty dark. Like part 2, like I can only imagine the shit that's gonna be going down. Like we were talking about the trailer before, Bear. Like she has fucking teeth marks, a bite mark on her shoulder. Like the shit that she's doing
on her neck.
Is
God.
Like she's probably fuck up, bro. Like,
okay, but here's the thing that I'm trying to piece together, right? Because obviously, like, there's like, I mean, I'm pretty sure they'll do like some kind of prologue that you'll have to do similar to the first game kind of deal, but it's like in between the last 5 years. But I mean, because you remember when you look at the ending of the first game, right? What was the last thing that Ellie says to Joel? I mean, you should already know this word for word. They're both of you motherfuckers should know this word for word for what she says when she asks Joel about the whole entire aspect about her being the last one. You know what I mean? And fucking Joel swears by it, that kind of shit. So what exactly happened in between that event, within that 5-year period? Something had to have happened. You know what I mean? Even though she already started to show signs of her aggression and her, I don't know, really, you kind of easily tell that. I forget what chapter it was when she's in the house, when you have to go and find her in the house.
Oh, right, right.
What do you want to call it? She first makes mention to Joel about her daughter. That kind of stuff. That's when you start to piece together that it does have that badass kind of side, and that's the reason why they betrayed her like that, and specifically alone in that scene, which is a good thing. But that's the thing I'm trying to piece together in my mind, man. It was something that either she has done, or it's something that Joel said to her to trigger to do something fucking that she's not like. She just wants to get rid of it. You know what I mean? Because like when you watch the trailer again, what did she say when she's like right before the title screen pops up? I'm gonna kill every last one of them.
Right.
Kill who?
Yeah, there's so many ways I'm not even gonna think about that because
could it be the Firefly? Maybe that could be that could very well be a thing. Since the reason why they were alluding to that actual sign on the stop sign to begin with, kind of like a subtle hint of who she's gonna be going after.
There's so much in that universe that hasn't really been fleshed out. Like her mother, for instance, they hint a lot of her. And like when you do take over her part, when you take over Ellie and you go through her backpack, notice that her backpack is completely Joel's backpack. So she has other items in her backpack that Joel doesn't have. And if you don't check and go through it, you won't even see it.
Right.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I noticed that immediately too as well.
Joel is dead and she is
there was
imagining
something
him.
in the bag that like was from her mother and shit like that, and she's like, you know what I'm saying? She looks at it, and whenever you view it, she talks about, she's like, I love you and shit, and then she puts it back in her backpack. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? There could be so many different reasons of why she's going against the Fireflies. Maybe they betrayed her mother. You know, like, who the fuck knows, man? And I think that's what's gonna lead this game to be very popular, because we're talking about how Uncharted didn't do as well as we thought it was going to do, even though it did really well. But you know,
it's over 5 million. That's more than enough, man.
Yeah, but they had never promoted a game like, or one of their own games like that as much as they did Uncharted. So I thought that it was going to do big numbers. But either way, like maybe that's why they were getting out of it, because they knew it was Uncharted's time to go. You know, maybe that's why.
But I'm saying, like,
it's because people want Last of Us 2. That's the thing. They don't care for Uncharted anymore. They want Last of Us.
Her mother was a crackhead that
the only thing that people were wondering, the only thing that people were wondering about Uncharted was if Drake was going to die. And that was it.
That was it.
Which he was probably originally going to. Amy Hennig's version was still there.
Yeah. In The Last of Us, dude, there's so many fucking questions that people want answered that I think that's going to warrant a purchase. Like, they're going to be like, why is Ellie got mine? What's been happening over the last couple of years? Like, you know what I'm saying? Why is she so angry?
That's what I'm saying.
Now?
Yeah, exactly. So there had to have been something that happened from the events from the ending of the first game throughout the course of the fucking 4 or 5 or 4.5 years, 5 years leading up to that cutscene that we saw. There had to have been something in between that. So it's either something related to the Firefly, or it had to be something related to personal with her mom or something like that. I don't fucking know.
It could be a whole new group.
Something that Joel. It could have been like something that Joel has been, you know what I mean, digging into her fucking head to keep her fucking thinking. Because remember, Joel is the reason why fucking there was never a cure to begin with, period. You know what I mean?
Well, if they were gonna find a cure, and that was also like a big part in the game, because it wasn't like it wasn't a set in stone 100% thing. They're like, we could find a cure, and honestly, the chances of us finding it are like pretty damn slim and none.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. But at the same time, Joel could have used that to her advantage, because he did promise her that that she wasn't the only one. You know what I mean? But yet in reality, she kind of technically is. But she doesn't know that, because she was fucking passed the fuck out. But on top of that too, as well, Joel could have been sitting there and, you know, drilling it into her for years, talking about, that they were purposely going to kill you, blah 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 blah.
It's not Joel's fault. I blame Trump.
Throw your body out into the ocean, that kind of shit. You know, who fucking knows? If that be the case, that is definitely, especially at a young age like that, for like the course of fucking 3 to 4 or 5 years. She's young. She's only 19. It's not that old. You know what I mean? She just hit adulthood. So she's gonna have a lot of freaking emotions that's gonna freaking hit her hard throughout the course of that 5 years, man. And people say, well, come on, Bear. You know, I mean, emotion is one thing. Dude, have you not played Last of Us? Fucking hell, that game is the epitome of what emotional is, man. For fuck's sakes.
That's the thing about it too. It's not a game that you play to have fun, dude. Like a lot of people,
It's a game you gotta pay attention to.
Yeah, it's very dark, man. You have to be in a certain mood to play the game.
So that's where I guess I'm different because this game is the gameplay itself is what's fun to me. Like I thoroughly. That's why I played it 8 times through because I enjoy the fucking just the brutalness of it, the brutality of how you defeat your enemies. Like and then the intricacies of the sound and lighting.
That makes sense.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, the overall story of the game is very grim. Like, so that's where it turns some people off. But to say that the game is a crawling simulator is just ridiculous. Like, you don't have to play it that way.
Who the fuck said that?
A lot of people say that. A lot of people think, you know, Sony's going to this narrative thing and they're getting away from gameplay. Where Dooley and I are saying they're stepping up their game on both fronts. Like,
yeah, they are stepping their game up on both fronts. Name me a game that has the most amount of pay attention to detail, like the way Last of Us does.
I do.
Like, dude, just simple little things that people overlook, dude. The fact that you actually have to sit there and bandage your character, that leads you to a lot of moments where you're fucked up and you're sitting there and you're like wrapping the fucking bandage and you know the motherfuckers are coming for you. And it's like most other games, you just run into a corner and regain your health or put a little patch on and you're good to
go.
Like,
so let's talk about that, Dred. That's a good point. So, and Bear, maybe you can help us because you've experienced more games than I think both of us. Is there other games that had real time crafting in it like that?
Real time crafting?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there were real time crafting.
I would assume there are. I can't think of what those are, but
it has crafting in it to some degree.
But that was after this game though, so that doesn't
things together.
Like I guess BioShock did it first, right? Didn't BioShock come out before this game? So yeah, that game had real time crafting, didn't it? Or did it pause the game and go into a menu? I don't remember. I think it actually paused the game. But
because you have
Dilly broke up. Hello.
I'm still here.
No, I'm saying, like, yeah, you have to freaking craft while the game
Want
is still
to talk
going,
about
like,
a company
still
going down the drain,
like,
BioWare.
Freaking pause the game.
All the original employees that found the company left.
So there's also like I'd already touched on the gun being the hammer back because it's it's got no ammo. The real time crafting was a big game changer for me. The fact that you can it's known as a third person shooter, right? Raw amongst several enemies where you're not using the gun that you have, melee weapons that you can actually use, unlike, in Battlefield it's just a quick click and now you're stabbing somebody.
Minecraft has real-time crafting.
Yeah, well, okay, fair enough. But but name another game that, like, this is what makes it so special to me, is that it has a narrative that's a lot of games have had narrative that made people emotional, sure. But
that's what I mean. In the crafting system, man, because you have that moments of tension when you have to bandit yourself, like Dooley was saying earlier.
Right. Well, it's combining the listen mode. It's combining the sphere of sound. Like when you hear the first time you come up on a clicker and that click's getting closer to you, you're like shit, and it's all done through sound, like the way the AI talks to one another, or how they'll yell at you to don't kill me, or there he is right there, go get him, and like the sound is just so deafening at times, and it's the lack of sound sometimes.
We were talking about that the other day. The fact that if you go into a room with a bunch of clickers and runners and everything, you can actually hear the people that are infected actually like fucking hurting and shit. Like they actually say shit. So it's not even just like they're just zombies, whatever, walking around. Like it's freaking nuts that you're hearing them actually tortured. They feel some.
Yeah, I hope I can show that before we get off the stream. I want to show how you're exactly right. They audibly talk about, through their sounds almost, like talk about how they hate it and they're burning, and it's pretty impressive, to say the least. The sound is designed. The music, the lack of music, depending on what's going on. Again, the narrative, the type of story they're telling. All of it has just been all wrapped up into one game that utilizes animations the way they do and stuff. It's just there's never been an experience like this for me personally. You know, where I was just floored by every aspect of it. What's going on, Chop?
You ain't watching your chat?
No. Well, it's hard to keep up with it.
I was talking bad shit in the chat, yeah.
That's why I didn't pay attention. If you start doing that, I'm ending this son bitch.
I was like, fuck Joe. I don't blame Joe. I blame Trump. He was the reason for this such as
Oh, I heard that. Yeah. So, Chop, now that you're here, is there anything that you want to expand upon?
I haven't. I don't know what y'all been saying.
We were going over, you know, a lot of people talk about the narrative when it comes to this game, but I wanted to touch on the gameplay and gameplay elements that really kind of
Hell no has not.
that kind of enhanced the narrative and how they complemented each other. And without one, you couldn't have the other. Is there anything that particularly stood out to you as far as gameplay and or narrative that made you the brutality of it?
Yeah, but okay. When I say the brutality, that means it's just brutal for brutal's sake, or it's a gore fest.
Right.
I think the brutality in the game does a very good job of helping the narrative along. Like, it tells you
its own story,
the level of desperation, or just how humanity's come by the level of violence and shit they're willing to do to each other just to survive.
Right. Yeah, there's because you have survival horror type games, but they always tend to miss certain elements. In this game, while it's, you know, I guess some people's flaw to this game is, oh shit, fucked up. Oh, and busted on. This game makes you feel like you're surviving, not just because of the lack of material, right, and resources, because on normal that's not necessarily an issue, but on grounded it really is survival, right? But on top of that, it's just like what you said, showing off the grit and the violence shows that survival. It has its own story in a way. Oh,
Out the gate too, because like you remember the part where you first go into the forest and you crawl underneath the cabinet, and that guy is like underneath the cabinet thing, and he's like, "Help me!" and you're like, "Up, you just gotta shoot this motherfucker." Like,
right.
It's just that type of thing.
Or you can choose not to waste a bullet, because the resources, you every bullet counts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like that to me was one of the things that always struck out to me. I think they did a very good job portraying that, just that, like his willingness more so than anybody's, because him being the main protagonist, his willingness to survive versus how, like, there are level. I get almost like the people that he's going up against don't expect the shit that he's going to do.
Well, yeah, because they're going against, like, you know, mom and pop. They're not going against another former hunter. You know what I mean? Like, and then when they see that, like, that's a good point. It brings me to another thing. If there was if there's two enemies, right, and you like execute one of them, like throw his face on the corner of a desk, or whatever, sometimes the other AI will get extremely pissed off, depending on his relationship with that other AI, or he'll get scared and run away, like literally. So like that kind of stuff is pretty brilliant.
With that, actually. I think it was Dredd who first
pointed that out. Yeah.
A while ago.
So do you think some people, like, when they say this game is a cross simulator, or it lacks gameplay, or it's boring, do you think that's because they played it on easy or normal and they just cared so much about the story that they overlooked those sort of things? Or
I just think some people are going to talk shit no matter what.
Well, obviously.
And on the other hand, maybe some things aren't for everybody.
Right.
But like, cause I'm one who's had issues with the AI from time to time, and y'all like, well, you know, play it on this, play it like that. Now, I also don't think you have to be a masochist to get great AI, but if it's something that you know what I'm saying. If it's baked into the way they put the game together, then you know if you want to experience it, then that's what you have to do. I'm not saying the AI is stupid, but to answer the question, I just think people are gonna. It's cool to hate on or to talk things that are appreciated by the masses.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so you're not going to be able to please. Jesus could come down and say The Last of Us was one of the greatest games ever made. And there'll be people who will tell Jesus he's wrong.
I would tell him
You
he's
know what I
wrong.
mean? So, you know. But this is a good. Now, to go back to what y'all were talking about when. The one thing I did hear was when y'all were talking about when she's getting ready to play the guitar. Right?
Yeah.
One of the theories I heard is that she looked like she just got done massacring everybody, right?
Right.
She looked like she had just been through some shit. She obviously went to a firefly. She went to a firefly base. And they came after her or whatever, but their insignia was the one that was on the stop sign. So she's there doing her thing, and this dude strolls in right behind her. He comes in like nothing happened. Walks through everything, and then he talks to her. So like, there's a theory that he's dead, and she's just imagining him.
Yeah, she's manifesting with her mind as yeah.
And that's how she's coping with everything that she's doing, or the level of shit that she's about to do. And that's like, he's like, in her mind, he's like, yo, because remember, he asks her, like, are you really going to do this?
Going through with this, yeah.
And she was like, yeah, I'm gonna kill every last one of them. And then, so like, she didn't say we, she didn't say us or anything. She said I'ma. So like, the theory is that the Fireflies caught up to them and killed Joe.
Right.
And she's going after them for revenge. Because he's not aged. He doesn't have pepper in his hair. He looks the same, well, from a silhouette anyway. But to me, the reason the theory makes sense is, how is he there so after the fact? Like, you know what I mean? And he has no.
Oh, Ellie.
There's no urgency. There's no urgency whatsoever.
Right. That's a fair point. And you said that as soon as you saw it live when we were watching it. I don't really care. Like, I'm not going to think about all that because I don't really care. I just know that. The only thing I'm curious about is, like, I love how Joel is a straight beast and, like, will straight just destroy people with his power. And she, well, it looks like she's a monster in her own right, but she's not gonna have that powerhouse type punches and, you know, knees to the head and blow their heads off. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's not gonna have that. So, I wonder if I'll miss that, or if they're gonna be able to replace it in some way that I won't care so much. There you go, Ellie. Get him.
That's a fair.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because I love that part of the game. And so, is that going to be gone? I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll find out. What I really hope they do is they do some kind of flashback where we get to see a little bit of Joel's hunter run. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see him terrorizing people, if possible.
I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna do that.
There you go, Ellie.
Was he a hunter, or was he with the Fireflies at one point?
Hunter.
Both.
No, he said both sides of it. So he's been attacked and he's been a hunter. I don't think he was ever a Firefly. That was his brother. Because otherwise, that whole he would have known where to go if he was a Firefly, and he didn't. That's why he was going to his brother.
Yeah. Because you remember that, they hint at it. Remember the first time that the truck gets... Ellie asked him, like, how did you know they're going to ambush us? And he's like, I've been on the other side. Like,
Right.
Yeah. And his brother also talks to him, like, nigga, the shit that you used to do to people, like, it was bad. And that's why I think they had split up.
See, what I got from there was that they were both in the Fireflies. It's just that he had a level of get her done that nobody could fuck with, that nobody was willing to sanction. So they had to like get him gone. You know what I'm saying? And so like the brother stood and he left.
Yeah, as a hunter, yo, you just go around and you're killing everybody. You're fucking raping everything, taking everything, like.
Now, is the hunters actually a faction, or the hunters are just what they're calling the survivalists?
Yeah, the survivalists. And then the fireflies were the one that were like they fight against the stuff like that. So that was their whole deal. But yeah, the hunters were just straight opportunists, like.
Oh man. So it's basically SJW versus Trump.
See, this is where the AI, the people that complain about the AI, because he just turned around and didn't see us. But that's kind of normal in games. A lot of games do that because you have to give. At certain times, I feel like you have to give a game a break. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like people nitpick too much.
Yeah, not everything is real life simulator. I understand what you mean.
Yeah, I mean,
and like I said, it's just people that they'll look for anything.
Trust me, if they made it too freaking hard, which it's already really hard because you have minimal amount of stuff to use. If they made it any harder, people would be complaining.
Yep.
You know what's crazy is that I got up and I was like, yo, what the fuck did they? It's a checkpoint? This shit look amazing. I didn't realize that he was playing with Joe and shit. I was like, yo, look at the added textures.
Yeah. I will say though, this game does look mad different from how I remember playing it. I don't know if the Pro patch did something or what, but I also have some other issues that have popped up that I don't ever remember encountering. It's kind of weird.
Well, they've patched it twice since the Pro's been out.
Yeah, they did. And prior to that, they hadn't patched it at all.
Could have added a map or some features.
And another thing I want to point out real quick, like the subtleties in this game. Like if you take a runner or any kind of infected person, you can smash their head off by kicking it or stomping it or throwing it on something. On a human that they're not as brittle, right? They'll just like crack open. Like you can't blow their head off with melee attacks, which I think is quite brilliant, personally.
This is the financial district.
I'm about to switch over to multiplayer, I think. Now that I was doing a really good job of saving all my resources, and now I've like fucked that all up.
Better grab a brick.
Yeah.
So on a different note, you haven't gone back to FF15?
Yeah, I'm like 20 some odd hours in, level 32 or something.
I know you hit me up yesterday when that shit happened and shit.
Well, I don't know where you are in it yet, but man, it's gotten incredibly cinematic, and there's a lot of set pieces in it through gameplay, which is really awesome, and I was not expecting it. So
I'm running with boys' sister through the town.
Oh, you're getting real close then.
Yeah, I beat Deadeye and shit already.
How was that? That's the sound he produced. Once you're getting off on another game now. Jesus.
That shit was crazy, yo.
Yeah. Really good game. Really, really enjoy Final Fantasy 15. All right, folks. I think this is unless anybody else has anything that they want to add. Real quick. So the multiplayer. What do y'all want to see them add or take away from the multiplayer standpoint?
Just make it better, but don't make it casual.
Well, what do you mean by better? Yeah, what do you mean?
That's a subjective term, bro.
Well, I mean, don't make it the way, or take the road the way fucking Uncharted 4 did. That's all I'm saying.
You mean you don't want
no overpowered weapon,
don't want
no weapons with 150 bullets in it.
Quarter-set bombs? No quarter-set bombs in it?
A co-op would be fucking nice, though.
Yeah.
Some sort of co-op element would be fucking dope. I'm one of the few people that I think, other than the OP weapons, I think the multiplayer is pretty.
I feel like they need more modes. I would like to see and modes that have to make sense to the game, because that's one thing that the multiplayer is so great, is it carries on the same narrative that the campaign did, which is survival, right? You feel the impact of every shot. Whenever you finally get a kill, it feels like you're getting an actual kill. Like,
look how Ellie just swept underneath your arm right there and cover and shit. Like,
yeah, Naughty Dogs they're brilliant for that. It's even better in Uncharted 4. So like in the multiplayer, like the fact that they were able to carry over that sense of urgency and survival into the multiplayer was quite brilliant. So I hope that they just expand upon that. You know what I mean? And I would like to see more modes. I would like for there to be, I don't know, like I would like there to be a one mode where there's like infected on the map, be it AI or if it was like controlled by other players, meaning like you would. One team starts off as a runner, right? And then once you get 2 kills, now you are a clicker. And then if you get 3 kills, now you're a bloater. Now, when you're a clicker, you have to see in listen mode. Like, so you can't necessarily see like all the rest of the players. But at the same time, you got more strength and you know what I'm saying? Like I would love to see a mode like that where it incorporates the infected as well. I think that would be really, really cool. On top of the fact that just, every man for themselves and that sort of thing. I think that'd be quite brilliant.
I can't wait to see the new infected creatures that they're gonna have.
I mark my words, they're gonna have animals, because it started off with animals, and so it only makes sense for them to have animals.
But that would take it into a sci-fi aspect.
No, that's where they got it from.
I know realistically, it attacks plants and ants.
Right.
And like scorpions and shit like
all
that.
different types of insects.
Excuse me?
Yeah, so it's like insects. So like if you think about what they would have to do to have like infected insects really be like a danger. They would have to like mutate them in a way, I would think, no?
Well, did y'all ever see the concept art for the elephant that was infected? Yeah. It looked amazing. And then
you're going down animals as in animals, not
yeah.
Okay, I'm thinking of the way the actual disease or the spores actually work, like in the wild right now.
Right. Well, they talked about it in Planet Earth, which is where all this came from. Which is it's mutating, so it could really get to
potentially.
Right.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I would like to see more with melee weapons. Like you was just putting in work with that pipe. I would like to see like you be able to like.
I always lay the pipe, sir.
Down and bash him in the face with a brick. Come on, man. Not while I'm on stream.
I heard it. I was like, yeah.
Don't pause. I'm done, yo. I'm going back to the But yeah, I'm gonna shut up.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. Cause that's one key element to the multiplayer that's just so satisfying. Whenever something like you shoot somebody, you get a shot off on somebody, right? And then they get staggered because the everything has weight to it. Everything, when they get hit, there's an impact, and so their character reacts to that getting shot. And then instead of pulling off another shot, you just rush in on them just to simply melee him to death. Only because it's like the right or with it. Yes, that'd be something that would be brilliant to be able to use bricks in the game. Oh, that's a good idea. My God, and that would work so well too. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's where a lot of what I'm hoping the second. I trust in Naughty Dog to deliver a great campaign. Like just take Uncharted 4. It may not be my favorite one. Yeah, there was missteps, but it was still a great campaign. I still enjoyed the shit out of it. Right? So I
think maybe it's a stretch, but I'm gonna let you.
Compared to other games, it's a great game to me. Right? So.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right. So like even if it doesn't surpass the first one, which is going to be a hard task to do in the first place. As long as the multiplayer is improved, dude, I'm so satisfied. Like, I don't even care. Like, because that's where we put a.
No, they gotta do both though. They gotta make it better than the fucking first one. I'm sorry.
But think about that for a second, Dre. How hard is that to do? This game.
Personally, I like Uncharted 2 Among Thieves.
Do what?
They'll figure it out. I don't think they would have like he was saying. He's like, I wouldn't even attempt this if we didn't have the direction, if we didn't think that we could do better. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, they can improve on like just the fact that they're gonna be able to improve the mechanics of it and the animations, and it'll all feel so much more complete. Yeah,
they're
but
on a new platform, like the P3. They probably put that shit to work. Like new engine,
right.
new platform.
No, it's the
like,
same
it
engine. It's the same engine, but
like a tweaked version of it, though, right?
Right,
like
right. It's upgradable. But that's the thing, though. Is like it's our first memory of this game. It was never done before like this, and so now that we've had this, how do you top something that was the first ever? You see what I'm saying? Like, how do you beat Mario 64? How do you know what I mean? Like, how do you beat that? Because it was
a better camera.
But does that change your excitement for the very first time playing it, though? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how do you?
Oh no.
That's all I'm saying is, like, how do you compete with that? Because there's so much. There's been very few games that I'm aware of that's been so highly praised by so many people. You know what I mean? Like, there are some.
We had this conversation already, but I'm not gonna rehash it.
What do you mean?
Like, again, I think the game was praised by people. I just don't think it was the all-out.
Well, are you not seeing the internet? I mean, the internet is going nuts right now.
Well, yeah, because now remember, though, there's always revisionist history, and there's always people that jump on a hype train. That's always going to happen.
Right.
I know that it was critically acclaimed when it came out. I will give that to you every day of the year. But this game didn't catch fire straight away like that. It was a sleeper hit that it didn't, be picked up by a lot of people before it caught on.
Well, you're speaking on behalf of the media and stuff.
It's a new IP, though. What it did for a new IP recently is still ridiculous.
I'm not arguing with that, but I'm just saying, he's like, I'm just thinking that a lot of the love for the game, the majority of it, came post PS3. From the actual community point. Not the media, not for what they did or anything else. Just like, it did well on the PS3, but I don't think it was this, where now as you got people who switched from the Xbox to the PS4 who never got a chance to play it, and so then they get a chance to play it, and now they get to run out there and go, yo, that shit is real. Because I remember buying it on PS3 the day it launched, and being one of the few people that actually had the game that I knew of, and I never really heard much. It wasn't until, I say this again, it wasn't until the two Gabe dudes from IGN that got their own shit now, Greg and Colin, started really talking about it on Beyond, that I feel like it really started to take off. You know what I mean? So
I mean, I knew a lot of people in real life that were fucking losing their mind over it, but but I was more or less speaking on behalf of like the community that supports it. Like it blew them away. Like just watching people's reviews that are smaller channels, like just really small channels, and they
to some extent though, because like to a good amount actually, because like there's still people that don't even know that shit has a multiplayer. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
As good as crazy as the multiplayer, different is it.
Because but to be fair with that, how many Sony games actually have multiplayer?
Right.
Yeah.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Just because, look, I mean, that's a different conversation. Because look at all the games. We had this conversation last night. Look at all the games that are coming out.
Yeah, because I think, let me see. Gran Turismo has multiplayer. You have Uncharted, Last of Us that have multiplayer. Yeah, a lot of their multiplayer, the SOCOMs and all that shit is dead and done, yeah.
They're dead. They tried multiplayer with... No, they didn't even try multiplayer with Metal Gear. Because Metal Gear is not Sony. Metal Gear is Konami. And
there was one point where you couldn't, you know what I'm saying? You had the kill zones, or is it... Like, they were really trying to find their Halo.
Okay, yeah, kill zone. Kill zone.
Yeah, it was not happening there.
But out of what we see now coming up, we know of, we don't know of anything with a multiplayer.
A Unless Days Gone got some fucking co-op shit or
No,
something.
they already said it doesn't.
Oh, alright.
Yo, is it coincidence that
Whoops.
you look like Joel right now while you're doing this stream?
You know he's growing his shit out right now. You know, as soon as he
Hey,
turned, yeah.
I might even rock a Kratos. Let's go.
That's that was since they announced the stream. I'm not shaking since they announced our stream video.
Nigga, his shit started growing magically as soon as it
That's 2 days growth. You see it right there, yo.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Do better.
That Brandon shit was
Damn.
all that.
Right?
Was it Brandon on PlayStation? I don't even want to acknowledge that fucktard. But
All right. Well, I'm gonna go to end the stream. So I'll thank you guys for watching. Until next time. Now it's awkward. I haven't actually stopped it yet. It takes a little bit.